You're watching Lynxx 24.
Connecting you to the community.
Welcome to your Hometown News. I'm April Frelke with my co-host Charity Seebecker, who is with our first guests on set 2. Over to you, Charity.
Thanks, April. The city of Elroy will be hosting their annual Apple Dumpling Day Races on September 11th. And we have Kelly Lupton, Randy Board, and Jared Johnson in the studio to share their details. So welcome, guys. I'm just going to get right into it because I know we've got a lot to cover, and I really want to make sure we get our viewers all the information that they need. So this is a huge race. It's got a full marathon, a half marathon, a 5K, a kids race, maybe other things I'm forgetting. So can I first go up, how did this Apple Dumpling Day Races start? You know, did you always have this many races? Or can you kind of give us the history about it?
Sure, I can handle that. Our race started in 2007, 15 years ago. And a guy by the name of Tim Nelson, a friend of mine and a person that grew up in Elroy and lives in La Crosse now. And he called up and said, Randy, the Lions Club there should get a race going because you have the perfect situation. You're on 3 bike trails and you could use those bike trails to have your race. So Tim was the guy who called me up. I mentioned it to the Lions and we started, I think the first year all we had was a 5K. We added the half marathon the next year, did that for a few years, and then 9 years ago we decided to go with a full marathon and had the course certified and the half marathon certified, and everything is certified so that runners, if they get a good enough time, could qualify for the Boston Marathon and other events like that. So we've been doing it since then. It's our 15th year. Last year we were called off because of COVID. 3 years ago we were called off because of the flood. So it's our 13th event in 15 years.
Very cool. So the kids race, do they do the same trail or is theirs a little different?
The kids race is just for fun. It's not timed or anything like that. All the kids get a medal, a finishing medal, and that's the whole purpose of it. There's 2 kids races. There is a kids race for those that are 7 and under. It's called the Applesauce Run. Everything's with an apple, of course. And that's 200 yards across the football field and back. And then for kids that are 12 and under, we have what's called the Green Apple Run. And that is a quarter mile.
Okay.
And like I said, they all get a medal. We don't do first, second, or third places or anything for the kids.
Very cool. So you mentioned utilizing those bike trails. So can you tell me kind of what is the course like? So let's say I'm going to go out and I want to run it because maybe I'm kind of sort of trying to get back into running. So, you know, is it challenging? Is it hilly? Is it scenic? You know, where does it start or end? What's all the details on the course itself?
Okay, well, the 5K starts, everything starts at the Elroy Park, Elroy City Park. It's called Schultz Park. 5K just comes out of the park and goes south on what's called the 400 Trail, and it's very flat. They run down there halfway and just turn around and come back to the park. That's the 5K. The full marathon starts in Elroy, runs through town, picks up the Omaha Trail on the north side of Elroy, and then for the next 11.5 miles, it goes north on the Omaha Trail, all the way through Hustler, almost to Camp Douglas.
Oh my goodness.
Turn around, and they come back. To be a certified course, you have to have the same out and back course.
Oh, okay.
So that's why we do it exactly the same out and back. It does have a tunnel in it. It's 875 feet long. We light it up with gas lanterns so that it's still a little mysterious, but also safe. And the marathon runners have to run through that twice. They go through it and they come back. The course is very level, very scenic, very shaded. I mean, you'll see cows and horses. Once in a while, the deer crosses the trail, that sort of thing. I think the runners love it. They're used to running on pavement, on highways, that sort of thing. The half marathon goes over to the city of Hustler, the village of Hustler, starts there, runs north for about a mile, and turns around and comes back to Elroy. So everything finishes in Elroy.
Wow. Sounds like a very good race, one that I definitely won't be doing the full length if I had to do it. I don't have that much stamina. But so can you give me details now about the event itself, if anybody you guys want to take over?
So, I can.
Oh, yeah, go for
so,
it.
The Lions Club asked us, last year we hosted an event, we called it the Elroy Vendor Fair, and it was in the CarQuest parking lot.
Okay.
And we had 8 vendors, and then a lot of people show up. And then they were like, hey, you do this about the same time of year, why don't you team up with us? This way here we can generate more buzz about it. So we've been working with the Lions Club, and then of course have our own presence on Facebook saying that, hey, we've got all these vendors coming out. So this year, instead of only 8, we have currently 24
Oh, wow.
that are going to be present, and possibly one more. I haven't heard back from them yet. Last minute people, you know.
Absolutely.
So it'll be across the roadway from the Lions food stand.
Okay.
And the vendors will be just in a horseshoe there and wander through, visit everybody.
Okay.
We'll also have a raffle for anybody who attends. And then they just have to go and visit all the vendors and make sure they talk to them to be able to qualify.
So there's a lot more to do than just race. So that's very
Oh,
cool.
yes.
You've got something for everyone. That's really nice to hear. If I want to participate, like, so where do I go to sign up? Where do I go to learn more? You know, what's the cost? What are those kind of nitty gritty details?
Well, as far as the race goes, you could have signed up all the way since last
Okay.
New Year's.
Oh, okay.
But you can go online and still sign up till 3 o'clock tomorrow on Friday. It's www.appledumplingdayraces.com.
Okay.
That's where you can find all the information, and there's a link there to sign up. You can show up Saturday morning and register and sign up then. Registration begins at 5:30 in the morning and is done by 6:30 for the marathon and half marathon, and then the marathon starts at 7. And the cost of the marathon is $80. The cost of the half marathon is $65. The 5K is $35. The kids is $15. All the runners get a shirt, a medal, an apple dumpling when they get done running, movie theater pass, and a lot of other goodies, including sucker donated by Kelly, and Elroy Auto donated, or no, not Elroy Auto, Jared donated lip gloss for all the runners.
Oh, very nice.
So we have a nice goodies bag that everybody gets.
Yeah, the suckers were made in my kitchen.
Oh,
Yeah.
my goodness.
In over 24 hours, so.
Well, I'm glad. Quick last question to wrap it up. So seeing as it is on 9/11, how are you incorporating that into the race?
Well, we have advertised it's a red, white, and blue patriotic race. We've asked the runners if they choose to wear red, white, and blue. Our shirts, which I'm wearing, is a red, white, and blue shirt, and we do have a little emblem on the back that says "Never Forget," and so
Very
we're doing
cool.
that. Some of the music we're going to play beforehand is a little patriotic,
Okay.
but a lot of it is race pep music too.
So it sounds like it's going to be a really good event. We can't wait to hear more about it and see how it goes.
Sounds good.
And can I just add one last thing? If you
Okay.
want to get involved with the vendor fair, there is a page called the Elroy Vendor Fair. So just message it and I can get you all the details you need.
All right, there we go. Catering for the cast and crew has been provided by Strike Zone and Pizzones in Toma. Great food with fun for the whole family. Up next, Toma Health Check 360. But first, we want to thank our sponsors.
Your hometown news is brought to you by Oakdale Credit Union, Hardware Hank in New Lisbon, The Fun Company Game Room Store, and the Little Cottage Home Decor and more in New Lisbon.
It's been a long day.
Mom, what's for dinner?
Yeah, I'm hungry.
I really don't feel like cooking, so
The best pizza? Look at that crust and cheese. Amazing burgers and steaks. Just the way I like it. Food the whole family loves. That's our specialty. And don't forget, 12 lanes of bowling fun and a huge game room. Rain or shine, always a great time. Strike Zone and Pizzones in Toma. Hardware Hank knows you have projects. Lots of important projects. From paint to plumbing, electrical, and yard maintenance. We have the area's largest selection of Milwaukee tools. Hey, it's what the pros use. We even have an in-store chainsaw sharpening service. It's time to build your property's value with Hardware Hank New Lisbon.
You've got a lot more going for you with Hank, Hardware Hank.
The Oakdale Credit Union has spent decades serving Oakdale, Mauston, and Reedsburg. From comprehensive financial services to reliable mortgage loans, we strive to provide unparalleled care.
I like the warm and friendly atmosphere each and every time I come in. The staff is very knowledgeable and truly cares about its members.
Come and learn more about the Oakdale Credit Union, where we treat you like a member of the family.
This hot tub is so relaxing. The stress of the week just melts away.
Hanging out with friends is fun.
And we have so many reasons to get together.
My Traeger grill is the difference between a good
and an amazing barbecue.
The Fun Company Game Room Store
is where the fun begins.
At Toma Health, we're committed to compassionate hospice and palliative care.
My name is Larry Schmidt. Hospice Touch helped me take care of my wife, and how they treated us was all about getting the most out of life and being the most comfortable you could be. You could tell the experience and just the personal touch, but really the empathetic care. Don't know what I would have done without that kind of help.
Toma Health offers hospice and palliative care close to home.
You're watching Lynxx 24, connecting you to the community.
Toma Health is looking for feedback from its patients as part of a new survey program. On this edition of Health Check 360, Toma Health Quality Compliance Director Shelley Eggstead joins us to talk about a new patient survey known as Real-Time Feedback. Welcome, Shelley.
Thank you.
Sounds like an exciting feedback type of program, and you're getting feedback in real time. Can you talk about who are you in, like what patients does this apply to, and then how are they giving you the feedback?
Sure. It is for our specialty clinic patients, ortho, general surgery patients, our Warren's Clinic patients, our urgent care patients, and then our outpatient surgery patients. So it's quite a number of patients that are getting the real-time feedback. They actually get a text after their visit within 24 hours, or a phone call, an automated phone call, or an email. And the emails will come at any time, but the texts and phone calls will come usually between 6 and 8 p.m. They've done studies to show that's when you get the most feedback from.
Really?
Yes.
That evening time is
is the best time. So within 24 hours of their visit, they have the opportunity to respond either by text or answering the automated phone or email. And then within 24 hours, we get that information. And so we are able to respond to it, react to it, coach, counsel, improve based on that information very rapidly.
So that's the real time. Yep. How are you getting feedback before the real time?
Before the real time, a survey would go out by mail. Probably a week after the visit, and sometimes people are busy. Patients, don't necessarily have time to fill it out. They would send it back maybe a week, 2 weeks, sometimes 3 weeks, sometimes a month later, and we wouldn't get that back then for maybe 6 weeks. And it's so much more important, it's so much more valuable to us when we can get it within a week of the patient's visit so that we can respond to it quickly. We know who was working that day. We know if there were delays and what we can do to improve the delays on that day. So it's a very, very beneficial thing.
When did the real time start then for Toma Health?
Actually, it started in August, so we're just getting into it. I'm really excited because our response rate has been super. Previously, about 8% of our urgent care patients gave us feedback, and we're up to 24%, which is
You've doubled, tripled your feedback.
The response. So overwhelmingly, it's been positive. It is wonderful for our staff to hear that they're giving great care. It's also very valuable for us to hear what we can improve upon. If we don't know about it, we can't improve it. So it's been a really beneficial thing. Staff are loving it. They have been very busy with COVID and all the things that we do at the hospital, and so hearing those positive comments has been like a shot in the arm, and just spurs them on to do even better work. So.
And Shelley, what about the patients that aren't in some of those specialty, like the urgent care? How would they give feedback if they're not a part of that those specialties like
Sure.
the Warren Clinic and urgent care?
Sure. Our emergency room patients and inpatients will receive the paper survey. The federal government actually requires that we send a paper survey. We can do it by phone call, real person phone call. So that I'm hoping will change in time, that they do allow us to do this rapid feedback. But right now we're still doing mail for emergency room and inpatients. I'm hoping the next phase will be getting our ER patients in this program. So we'll hoping that'll be probably 6 months to a year from now.
And what are the dividends from this real-time feedback?
Like I said, the staff loves to hear what they did well. They also appreciate where we can improve. They know that we want to be here, and patient experience is a priority for the hospital. It's part of the strategic plan. We want to be in the 90th percentile, meaning we're better than 90% of the hospitals. We're in the 86th percentile right now.
We're close.
We're close.
Well, yes.
We're going to get there. So they appreciate hearing it. Managers post the comments, so they see what patients are saying about us, and
Really?
they have the attitude to, we can make this better. We can do better. If there's a wait, what can we do differently? What can we improve next time? What more information can we give the patient to make the next patient's experience be better? So,
good luck. Excellent job with that, Shelley.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
Well, up next, the lab is back with Doc Shuckle and Oakley Moser. Stay tuned.
At Toma Health, we're committed to compassionate hospice and palliative care.
My name is Larry Schmidt. Hospice touch helped me take care of my wife, and how they treated us was all about getting the most out of life and being the most comfortable you could be. You could tell the experience and just the personal touch, but really the empathetic care. Don't know what I would have done without that kind of help.
Toma Health offers hospice and palliative care close to home.
This hot tub is so relaxing. The stress of the week just melts away.
Hanging out with friends is fun.
And we have so many reasons to get together.
My Traeger grill is the difference between a good
and an amazing barbecue.
The Fun Company Game Room Store
is where the fun begins.
It's been a long day.
Mom, what's for dinner?
Yeah, I'm hungry.
I really don't feel like cooking, so...
the best pizza. Look at that crust and cheese. Amazing burgers and steaks, just the way I like it. Food the whole family loves. That's our specialty. And don't forget, 12 lanes of bowling fun and a huge game room. Rain or shine, always a great time. Strike Zone at Pizzone's in Toma.
What's the more in the little cottage home decor and more? Fashion. Shopping is fun at the little cottage. Update your look and discover more at the Little Cottage Home Decor and More, New Lisbon.
The Oakdale Credit Union has spent decades serving Oakdale, Mauston, and Reedsburg. From comprehensive financial services to reliable mortgage loans, we strive to provide unparalleled care.
I like the warm and friendly atmosphere each and every time I come in. The staff is very knowledgeable and truly cares about its members.
Come and learn more about the Oakdale Credit Union, where we treat you like a member of the family.
Hardware Hank knows you have projects, lots of important projects, from paint to plumbing, electrical, and yard maintenance. We have the area's largest selection of Milwaukee tools. Hey, it's what the pros use. We even have an in-store chainsaw sharpening service. It's time to build your property's value with Hardware Hank New Lisbon.
You've got a lot more going for you with Hank, Hardware Hank.
You're watching Lynxx 24, connecting you to the community.
Another edition of The Lab, brought to you by Image Pictures Production Studios in Toma. I am joined by Toma physics teacher Oakley Moser and a few Toma students that Oakley will introduce.
Yes, we have tonight Bryn Newman and Sophie Pokola. Bryn's taking physics this year, and Sophie was in AP Physics last year, so very capable help tonight.
Very good, yes. Now our theme tonight is energy, potential energy, kinetic energy, conservation of energy. So we'll start out by having Bryn, if you just drop this ball from a height right here is fine, or over there is good. Yes, drop it, yeah, just drop it, and very good. Now when it was at the top, it had potential energy, right? And just before it hits the floor, it has kinetic energy, okay? Try another one. How about this one right here? And notice it never comes back as far as the point of release, because if it did, you'd be getting something for nothing. And that would violate the most sacred law of science, and it's conservation of energy. So if we have various balls here, we have a tennis ball, and if you just drop that tennis ball, it comes back about maybe a foot, is dropped maybe 3 feet, so the coefficient of restitution, which is how far it comes back divided by how far it falls, was about 0.33. Try a softball. Okay. Oh, that didn't come back very far. But on a softball, if you just show it there, every softball has a COR on it, and this one here is 0.44, which means if you drop it 100 feet, it should not come back more than 44 feet. Now, if we have a softball, and now let's take and do a dropper popper. These are showing, yes. Now these show something fantastic. So drop a few of them there on that surface there. And you notice that they came back farther than the point of release, and that shouldn't happen, but it does. So something strange is going on there. And the concept idea, or the idea here, is that we're putting energy into it, elastic potential energy. So we get not only the kinetic energy out of it, we get that elastic potential energy. That's why it comes back further than the point of release. Now, a number of years ago, they had some toys. They were called Astro Blasters. And you drop these. It has 3 here and then 1 on top. One for you. Drop that. Try that. And it goes way up in the air if you drop it straight. Okay, so we have here now. We're going to try another one here. This is elastic potential energy.
Bryn, will you grab that in?
Grab that in
and take that towards the center.
And we'll put that right over here. These are kinetic sticks, and if we take just set it right there is good. If we take a craft stick and I bend it, I'm putting elastic potential energy into it. Now, the strange arrangement here, if possible, if we release it, we're going to see what happens. So try that.
Pull that green one out.
Pull the green one out. Ooh! Every one of those had elastic potential energy, and we got that back out of it. So it's quite fantastic.
Yeah. They interweave. They're not just laying on top of each other, but the way you weaved them, right? You have them bent different ways, and as soon as you pull out the one that's holding it all together, we release all of that stored up energy and work that you did to set all that up. So it took you, what, 40 minutes to set it up, and about 2 seconds to get it all out released.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. The hot tracks.
Yeah, so Sophie, if you grab this end, Bryn, that end, here you can take the bus there and hold a little higher. Okay, now if you release the bus from that end of the track, it's going to run down, and you see it only comes about this high on the other end. Okay, and if Bryn releases it from her end, and it goes the other way, you see the same thing. It doesn't come back up as high as where it started. We're losing some of that kinetic energy and potential energy. It's going into things like friction, bending the track, that kind of absorption of that energy. Now, a golf ball works a little bit better, mildly better, and so it'll roll down and come up a little higher than what the bus did, but still, after several times back and forth, it settles out into stopping. So we have the transfer of potential energy to kinetic energy, back to potential energy, but not quite as much as what we started with. And we have an efficiency that we could look at there as far as what percentage of the original potential energy do we get back at the end. So the ball coming up a little bit higher means that it's a little more efficient on the track than this very well-traveled school bus.
Very, very good. Okay. This one here?
Yeah, Bryn, if you want to put your back right against the wall here, no students are harmed in the making of this. So you can pull it right up tight to your nose, okay? And then just gently release it and let it swing away. And then hold still. And it will never come back to touch you in the nose again, even though it might come really close and it probably makes you think it might. Okay? So one of the things that Larry used to do in his physics class was he'd do this with a bowling ball in front of somebody's face. And let me tell you, if you think the softball looks intimidating, the bowling ball really gets your heart pumping there. So
that's pretty good.
When the ball releases from the front of her face, it can never come back as high as where it started. It's the same thing as the bus and the golf ball. You're not going to get a clean transfer of energy, and so it won't come all the way back, and it certainly will never come higher. So if you started at your nose, it'll never come back and hit you in the face, as long as you don't leave the wall you're standing against.
Or give it a push. You do not want to give it a push.
You don't want that either, no.
No, we didn't try this, did we?
Where'd the tennis ball
Tennis
end up?
ball. Okay. All right, why don't you drew it over on the side there, like that? Okay. Now, we know the basketball will not come back as far as it was released, nor will the tennis ball. But Bryn is going to put the tennis ball on top of the basketball and drop them. Ooh, and it goes and hits the ceiling. Now, if we do that one more time, if you watch carefully, watch the basketball. The basketball will not come as far as it did before with the ball on it. That's because the tennis ball actually stole some energy from the basketball. So we didn't get something for nothing there. The rules of conservation of energy do not allow that to happen.
The other thing that we have in play there is momentum, too.
That's right.
The basketball being a lot more mass than the tennis ball, passing off some momentum to the tennis ball. Since the tennis ball has less mass, we get a lot more speed out of it.
The momentum that we had before the collision was when it hit the ground, is equal to the momentum that we had after. So we didn't really gain anything there. All right, let's see now. We're going to take a look here at some so-called perpetual motion machines. This is one. I'll bring over one or two more. And they're often advertised as perpetual motion machines, which means that they violate the law of conservation of energy. They look like they will run forever. And as a matter of fact, we've had this one run for almost a year. But really, they're real simple machines. They're motors. And inside there's a battery. And as a magnet, for example, this one has 3 magnets. As the magnet goes over the top of a special coil and transistor, it induces current in there, so we get a little boost get a little kick in the pants every time it goes by. Every one of those works the same. Be it this one, I like this one, this is the well there. And if we have one of those mechanical ones here, like this, or did it already run down?
It ran from the beginning.
It ran from the beginning. What about the other one? Let's try that one.
This one's hung up on the space shuttle.
Let's try this one here. These are mechanical ones, and they look like they may run forever. However, they run maybe 15 minutes at the most. And because we put energy into it, we get energy back out of it, but no more. For example, if I take this and I wind it, if I put 15 turns into it, I can get 15 turns out of it, but no more. Okay? All right. So we want to thank you for joining us on this edition of The Lab, brought to you by Image Pictures Production Studios in Toma. And remember, the world is an amazing place. Don't forget to experience and experiment in it. It's back to April and Charity.
Thanks, Larry and Oakley, as well as the rest of our guests. As always, we want to thank you for watching your hometown news. We are connecting you to the community.